Hi ladies, and welcome back to another episode of Peaches and Tea, where we talk about owning a waxing center, running a waxing center, and being part of a waxing center. I'm joined by Angie.
Hi.
And our newest member of the team, Carol.
Hi.
So today's episode, we're just going to be welcoming Carol and just getting some information from her. She's been in this industry for a little bit of time and has some good tea on other places that she worked at.
Yes.
I see her turning red, so let's give her the questions. So Carol, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to the world of waxing.
Not to disclose any information, but I come from a place that rhymes with European facts. Okay? You guys can do what you wish with that information. European facts.
European wax. Okay, that's going to be the
European
one.
Facts
We're just
Center.
going to call it LP.
LP. Okay. European Facts Center. And yeah, things were a little different. Not in a good way. There's no, I feel like I'm in a job interview right now. But like I like to say, what I like about the Peach Bar is that you can actually connect with people and it's not robotic. There's real relationships being built. There's people walk out feeling beautiful instead of feeling like they just drained their bank account for a transaction. So the experience here, without a doubt, is 100% different. So I'm really excited to be part of a team that, allows me to connect with people like you guys and the clients and stuff.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, LP, I always say anyone who's out of school or looking to get into the field, LP is always a great starting point, right? But you have to know what you're getting into, meaning you already know you're going to be worked like a dog. You're not going to be compensated as such, but you also learn speed and you learn technique. So you're going to learn your speed there. You're going to learn some technique, and you're going to really, really get into this environment where you get to learn how to talk to people.
Yeah.
Here is different because we take the time to really, really train you on one, how to have those proper conversations and how to turn off your ratchet and be more professional.
Right.
And you build a lasting clientele. I mean, our girls start off with nobody. We hand them everyone. And they leave with a solid book to start their futures.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between LP and us, or any other waxing center and us.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I always like to bring up Sophia, for example, the girl that works right there, the small little itty bitty one. Like, she was brand new. Her book is always booked up. Because, again, we gave it to her. We started her off with, a couple sales. You trained her personally. And I actually do have a question, too. So would you rather somebody come in as a waxer coming from European or straight out of school?
That question, okay. So I'd rather someone straight out of school. The reason for that is it's hard to break bad habits. So at European, you are taught speed. I don't really think you're taught to really get the hair off. And even Carol yesterday, we were having conversations, and Carol was a manager at LP. She wasn't a waxer or an esthetician. She was a manager. And even Angie versus Carol, there's questions that Angie has about burnt skin, lifted skin, breakouts, bruising that she's able to answer. And to me, Carol working longer than Angie, it was why didn't Carol know these answers when LP should have been training you on how to combat? Because if your waxer is busy, you can't just be I'm just going to go wax my waxer. It's something that a manager should know. And so to me, when it comes to a waxer, it's hard to break them out of this weird loop that they do, or this swirling motion that they do now. LP keeps their wax as a cookie dough consistency where it's very thick and you got to use your muscle to move that wax, versus us, it's more of a honey consistency.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of a drip to it. So that's the difference, because that's why all the girls, when you go in the room, sometimes they lower it if they come from LP, versus us, our girls already know it's 60 or above. You see all the LP girls lower it. So I think that's the difference, and it's hard to break, because how many girls do we have working here now? I think Alex, I love her to death. I think she's a very, very nice girl. She could turn on that ratchet and she could turn off that ratchet in a switch, that girl. But if you look, her pots, she tends to lower them more often than not, because she's so used to that cookie dough consistency versus a honey.
And then question for you. At LP, if a client did call, say they left hair behind, or if a client did call complaining, what would you do?
Well, I guess I would ask a few questions, not necessarily in a way where I'm trying to put the blame on somebody. That's not what managing is about. But you kind of want to figure out exactly what went wrong and how it went wrong. I'm a problem solver, so the first thing I would do is make sure to let the client know that they can come back for a retouch within, I believe it was 3 days, tops.
Yeah.
3 to 5 days. And then I would just have a coaching moment with that waxer and kind of find out maybe what went wrong, if they even remember the experience, if they remember anything different about that experience. Maybe, I don't know, it could have been anything. Everyone deserves to say their part.
Yeah.
I always like to hear out waxers, just to hear how we can improve, I guess.
Yeah. We do that too. We
As
always
long as the
get
customer's calm.
Yeah, we always get both sides. We always get like the client, like they go into details, and then I bring it up with the waxer as well, go into details of what happened. Because sometimes the tricky part too is waxers really don't remember the clients by name unless it's like their client will not switch.
Not
Unless
even.
it just
Not
happened
even.
30 minutes
Like,
ago.
no, I want to say, like, I have some die-hard Peach Bar girls that started with the company when I first was in the back of the hair salon. Shout out to Salon C in Nutley. But I remember them, like, I could see them and I'll remember everything they ever told me about their whole life. Like, it's a flashback. Like, I remember their husband, their kids, their, like, vacations, everything. But I will not remember their name.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like I can't remember any of their names. Like, even if they're die hard, like die hard. The only person that I think I remember their name is Devlin, her mom Jenny Lee, because of her son. Mm-hmm. Like, her son was just this cutest little chubby boy that I just fell in love with, and then just because we became friends after waxing. But other than that, I don't remember anyone's name. You're lucky I remember your name.
No, because I was speaking to Jeanette too about it, and then I was like, which clients, like, do you know? Like, you're like, oh, like, I know her, like, I know what she looks like, whatever. And she goes, it's like those few that are like, they're my diehard clients, like, they come to me every single month since I've been coming here. So, like, those, like, they do remember. I know a couple names too. Faces, names, I do know. But, yeah.
What was the hardest part about leaving? I mean, LP.
LP.
It was unfortunate that I felt like I was bringing up the morale. I was having like little events. They were small. We were doing like bake-offs. You know what I mean? We did like a Secret Santa. I had a bunch of like bingo boards planned. Like, if you fill out the bingo board, there's like a Starbucks reward.
Oh, that's cute.
Whoever sells the most this weekend, breakfast, little things like that, all from me. But it allowed me to kind of, I guess, motivate them a little bit. Mm-hmm. And just as when I was getting there, things with me and LP's management started to kind of get a little weird. One thing that LP does, I know I mentioned it to you before, I don't know if I'm allowed to even bring it up, but who cares? They will spread the salary employees so thin and double up the work for them and send home hourly employees. Because at the end of the day, we both know how it is. District managers and corporations make a bonus off of how much they can cut from payroll.
Exactly.
I'm not like stupid. And it would be frustrating to work 12 hours for a store that isn't even mine. Bust my ass selling, cleaning a store that isn't even mine, that I make no benefit off of, while they're sending the employees that work there hourly home to save a buck.
Yeah.
So I guess there was no bad part about leaving, because when things got to that level, I was happy to walk out the door.
I think that's the difference with working from a corporation to like a small business, because you work with the owner.
Yeah.
So not only are you working with the owner, you're helping building a business that you get to, one, reap the benefits from, and two, see, like, you treat this like your baby. You're going to see it grow. You're going to see it surpass any idea or imagination that you ever had for it. So I think that's the difference. Like, I know Jessie, she was with the company for 6 years. She just left, for school. But she got to see this place build from nothing to something. And I think that's something that you could never, ever, like, take from someone, because you put your blood, sweat, and tears, and it helped them grow. Unlike, LP, because even when I worked at LP for like 4 years, I worked at a location in Hills Short. We'll just flip it. And it was great, but I did not like the owners. I did not like the management team. I did not like anything about it, like anything, like working there. Like there was like inventory and theft. And I think I came in and I was fresh out of school. So I'm still in my mind of like protocols and like hygiene and safety guidelines. And I'm like mixing the wax and there's bobby pins at the bottom of the wax. Like it was just like, this is what we're putting on clients. Like, ew.
Yeah.
While here, if we find something in our wax, we're dumping the whole pot out, cleaning the bottom, like making sure like no contamination's being passed on. While LP didn't really care about that. Like you find bobby pins, that's like disgusting.
Yeah, I think that one thing that they should work on, if anyone from the company is probably listening to it, if they are, is that they put too much focus on certain things that don't matter and not enough on important things like inventory, like checking the girls' rooms. You know, there was no way of me as a manager. I understand that I can't be in the room unless I'm an esthetician, but there was no way of me knowing what interaction happened in that room because it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Close the door, like that's it. I have no idea. They come out with a smile on their face, it's 50-50. You know, whereas here, I know that there's a lot of like emphasis on how the customer is treated behind that closed door.
Yeah.
Which is important. You know what I mean? Inventory is a big deal here because, hello, we want to stay in business, right? We're running it, we want to stay in business. And those are things that they looked away from. And it was like, it was all about numbers. And there was no, it felt so transactional, like I mentioned earlier.
So how did they like leave after their day? Like did they clean their rooms? Like did somebody have to check it? Like how was like that whole process?
The center that I worked at, the girls were lovely. So luckily there were no issues where I worked as far as cleanliness goes, because they were all, I like to call them like riper waxers, like more mature. They've been in the game for a while, 10 plus years kind of thing. You know what I mean? But am I going to say that I didn't walk into like hair strips the next morning? Yeah, there were times where there were labia strips just
oh my God.
hanging out. You know what I mean? This is like little things like that. There was, like Erica mentioned, sanitation and wasn't really the main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because what it is too, like you don't know LP's like owner, like, you know what I mean? Because there's so many franchises. So the owners don't really care because it's not their reputation on the line. They have so many, you know, locations that it's not their reputation. Where here, you know, Erica Rosado owns that place.
Yeah.
It's her name and her image. So that's why I care so much. And I think to me, it's kind of hard because I care both sides. Like, so I care more for my waxers and my employees, but I also care for my clients who support and come here. And so to me, in my mind, I'd rather give you guys more, because if I give you guys more, you're gonna work your ass off for me. If I give my clients a little less, like don't charge them as much, they're gonna keep coming back to me. Yes, for right now, you know, I'll take a little bit of a hit, but I know in the next 5 years, I'm gonna double them where I am right now. And that's my goal. And I think that's like the difference between franchising and having a small business, I think. And I don't think I would ever change it. Like I would never go and be like, franchise a peach bar. Fuck out of here.
I was going to ask you, is that something you plan on doing?
No.
If so, let me know. No.
Yeah.
But no, it makes sense. Keep it personal.
Have you ever thought about opening another one? I know you always get that question. And if so, where?
I always wanted to open up another location in Jersey, in like Edgewater.
Oh my God, I was thinking that. I was like, you should do it in Hoboken.
Because I think we would do like so phenomenal there.
Yeah.
But the only thing is I would have to move back. And I said it like a couple of episodes ago. It's not fair for my husband.
Yeah.
Like, he supported me. Like, we went on a trip. Like, we had first started dating. For those who don't know, I opened this place up. Jessie ran my Tampa location. COVID happened. She had to move back to Jersey. So Tampa didn't have a manager. We tried doing it for like a couple of months with them running themselves. They were like such bullies. Like, our poor Nana like came back home. Remember, she used to call us like crying because they bullied her so much. And she's Jessie's cousin, and like my like adopted daughter.
And my best friend.
And her best friend. And she was like the manager at the time, but she was like young. She was like 20 years old.
A lot.
And these girls were older, and they were like, you know, like, you're not telling us we can't call out. You're not telling us to clean our room. Like, being really, really mean and like excluding her to the point where she's like, I just don't want to do this anymore. So she came back to Jersey, and we let them run it on their own for a little bit, but it was like deposits missing. Like, customers were calling here, like, I have an appointment, like, no one's at this door, am I calling the right location? And we're like, no, we're in New Jersey. Well, your Tampa location's closed, but look, I have an appointment. So to the point where we just closed it down. It was closed for about 2 months. Jesse was sat here. I went on vacation with my husband. Now, he was my boyfriend then. And I was like, let's go check on my Tampa location. I know it's your birthday, but can we just like drive down there? So we drove to Tampa, and we walked in, and it was just like, my heart broke. Like, all of my hard work and dedication, and you see like things like just abandoned. I was like, I have to reopen this. So I was like, I know we're dating. We're like 3 months into this relationship, but I need to move to Florida.
Oh my God,
like,
I remember this. I remember this.
I was like, I need to move to Florida, and he was like, okay, we'll do long distance.
I remember.
And so, but I had 2 dogs, and I had Ariana, and I'm like, I have this big apartment here in New Jersey. I don't want to leave her alone. Like, she's 20 years old. Like, she has no, her best friend, like my adopted daughter. I was like, I don't want to leave her here alone, and I don't want to leave her with my 2 dogs. Like, that's a lot. I need to move to Florida, adjust myself, and then I could bring everyone with me. So he was like, okay, I'll move into your apartment. I said, what? He's like, I'll move in. I'll take care of your dogs. I'll make sure your cars are okay. And I'll make sure Ariana's okay. I was like, oh, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So I moved to, Jesse was like, I have this. I got this. No problem. I said, okay. I moved to Florida. And then 6 months later, after I opened up Tampa, hired girls, he then moved with my dogs. And then Ariana moved with us also.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he got so used to life in Florida. He's an amazing chef. He opened up a restaurant. So to have us move back here is like,
It wouldn't be the right
it
thing.
wouldn't be the right thing. And
No.
he's all for it. He's like, I'll move in a heartbeat. I already did what I wanted to do
yeah.
here. Like, I won Best Chef, like, 2 years in a row. My name is solid. I could go anywhere now in the world.
What about him opening a restaurant here? Has he thought about that? Like, have 2?
Yeah. Well, not 2. He would definitely close down. He would sell Meg's. He said he would sell as a franchise. He would sell it, give people the recipes, and then try to open up something probably in New York.
Has he always wanted to do New York?
Actually, Miguel never wanted a restaurant of his own. He wanted to do, I think, real estate. I think that's what it was. But he's a phenomenal chef. Like, he went to culinary school in Vermont. He worked under, like, the best chefs in New York City. He was an executive chef at, I think, Frames. It was, like, Frames Bowling Alley, where it's, like, in Times Square, very upscale bowling alley. Like, they have VIP rooms and stuff. So they hired him, I think, when he first started, like 10 years ago. They hired him to do upscale bowling food. So, like, beautiful, like, mac and cheese bites and stuff, but, like, with twist and all this stuff on it. And he was there, like, as an executive chef, like, create up with all these recipes, hired a team. They would just cook, and he would just sit in the office.
Oh, my God.
Chilling. Every day he would talk to me. And he was like, my contract's up. I'm making, like, $125,000 a year. He's like, I'm living my best life, but I want more. So he's like, I want to get into real estate. When he moved to Florida, I guess he missed the cooking, and he was like, I kind of want my own restaurant. I said, say less. You help me with my dreams. And so I helped him with his.
Aww, I love.
We should go
love.
We should go eat there. We should take a trip there.
Yeah.
Just to eat there. Yeah. Like
He's
a one
there
like
for
a
you,
1 weekend trip, just going just for the
He
restaurant.
actually, like, when we first started dating, he and I was living in my apartment with Ariana. I invited the whole Peach Bar team to my house, and he cooked for everyone.
Aww.
Like a 4-course dinner. Like, he started off with appetizers, a salad, and then like steak and lobster mac and cheese and all this stuff, and all the girls made their own drinks. You know, like I have orange drinks, so this is my orange drink. I have the pink drinks, this is my pink drinks. We did that, and then he did dessert, so like everyone got to try his food also.
Aww.
That sounds good.
But no, I really want to. I think like we are so known, like we're known all over. Like people do know us all over the place. LP is like our biggest haters, but but I think in order to open up another one of this size, you need a solid foundation. You know what it is also? I'm sure you guys had this on LP. I think TikTok ruined this industry.
Oh my God, yeah. Do you think that too?
Like, I think waxers think it's a trend. Like, it's not a
Yeah.
serious job to them. Like, that's how I feel. Like, the girls that come in here sometimes, I think it's more like, oh, I could do the whole vagina in one strip.
Yeah.
Like, nah, shorty, you cannot. We cannot do that.
Not mine, that's for sure. No, but I disagree. I feel like social media it opens up so many doors and possibilities. Yeah, it could also have its downside, but the positives of TikTok in particular and keeping up with the trends, if you know how to use it and weld the power
Yeah.
to your benefit, it can really be a game changer.
Gotcha.
I think you guys are like one of the best because of your social media.
Thank you, CJ.
Yeah, it is, and it's funny, and the girls are funny, and I was like really not stalking it, but I was a little bit last night, and these girls really have personality. They
Yeah.
really do.
I think social media, like when it comes to marketing, social media is amazing. When it comes to making a mockery of certain like industries, I think that's where the downfall is. But
Yeah.
our girls, like, they're a solid team. They all have like their issues, don't get me wrong. But I love my team. I think we pick certain girls. Like when I do the interviews, I don't pick on your skill, right? I pick on your personality and who's gonna fit with my family. This is my family. These are my children and my brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? So to me, whoever's gonna fit in my little foster family here, that's what I want.
Right.
I don't want someone who's like, oh, but I got 100,000 followers. I don't care. But if you are good personality-wise and you could bring my team together and you guys could love and laugh and joke all day long so it doesn't feel like work, like we were yesterday. You worked an 11-hour shift, and when you left at 7 o'clock, you were like, wow, it didn't feel like
Didn't
that.
feel that long, yeah.
Because you're with family. Like
Right.
you're talking, you're laughing, you're joking, we're cracking jokes. Like me and Angie make fun of each other all the time. Like just before this podcast, she's like, you're 4'11". Number one, you act like you're 8 feet tall. But it's like those jokes, like,
Right.
and I think that's how the girls stay and what they like, because they feel it. They feel like you do care. Like we're hard asses when it comes to your filming and making sure you're getting everyone in and out in those 15 minutes. But it's because we're trying to mold you to be the best waxers out here in the world. But all right, ladies, this brings in another episode of Peaches and Tea. Stay tuned for our next episode. Bye, ladies.